All right. Hello, everyone. And welcome to today's live. I'm really happy to be able to talk about this and really give you a strategy on how to get a woman to want you emotionally and physically. And I want to discuss this strategy in this today's video and live, really about how to start it emotionally. Because if we don't start it emotionally, we will never be able to create that environment for a woman on a physical level as well. And so, if you are tuning in right now, if you are watching the replay later, I would love for you to tell me where you're tuning in from. If it's and from Mexico, from New York, from California, just comment it below just so I know, because I love to just know where everybody is chiming in from. I will also do a Q&A at the end. So I know many times when we start dating a woman or we find attraction towards a woman and we get into a relationship, possibly even with a woman, or we're dating for a couple months, let's say, and you have feelings for the woman that start to create, and you're like, I've never felt like this before, Apollonia, but I don't know how to bring things to the next level without her being needy, or I have this fear that she's not going to like me if I do this particular thing. So what you start doing is you start overthinking everything in general. And so then you might hear in your dating life that's like, oh, there's two sides of this. You can be great with women and you have a really good Rolodex, let's just say, of women, and or your history with women has been good. But when you have this one woman, it's challenging to you. Like the one that you really like, it starts to become challenging for you. So that can help. This live is going to help a man that has found himself in these situations. And also, too, maybe you are a man that is probably okay with women, but you find yourself getting too much emotionally attached with a woman, or you find yourself not trusting yourself overall in the dating process, right? And so, what's happening here is because we're not understanding how to physically and emotionally get that reaction and connect with a woman. So, many of men think that they have to play a certain game to get their ideal woman. Okay. And if you think this, then the dating process will always be hard. Understanding that the dating process does not have to be about games, but rather how you see yourself and assessing women you are interested in. Let me clarify again. Let me repeat this actually. Understanding the dating process does not have to be about games, but rather how you see yourself and how you assess women that you are interested in. Tell me in the chat box, in the comments, wherever you're watching, how many times you really assess women. And this is where I talk about strongly on this channel about how men need to have standards for the women they date as well. So when we are looking at your interactions with women, about discovering who she is instead of getting a result instantly, is where we can really step aside and be really authentic with the overall dating process. Okay. So, looking at your interactions with women about discovering who she is instead of getting a result instantly. The more that you have fun on your dates, the more you will be able to identify if this woman is a match to meet you where you are at in your dating life. So here's the hardest part though, my guys. Here's the hardest part is you must be honest with yourself first to see what you are and who you are and where you are at in your life. Right? Like asking yourself questions. Are you dateable? Have you done some work on yourself? Have you disrupted some of those past patterns? Do you live in victim mentality? Do you give yourself a lot of excuses? Do you hold back your true self? Because the people that actually get the most results in dating are the men that have a perspective of abundance instead of a result driven energy. Again, the men that get the most results in dating are the men that have a perspective of abundance instead of a result driven energy. And so, in the strategy that I'm going to give you today, I want you to know that if you start off inconsistent and vague, you will attract a woman you are interested in who will also be inconsistent and vague. Just like if you are being inauthentic and playing games, you will also attract a woman who is being all inauthentic too. You'll be more elated and attached to a woman too that is being inauthentic or inconsistent or vague, because you're giving her somewhat the same behaviors. And so when it happens on her side of the story or her actions, you start to get infatuated with it. And this is the unhealthy way of dating. So this is will also cause disruption, it'll cause lack of trust, and it'll also not give you a solid foundation for you to take things to the next level with a woman if you are looking for long-term sustainable results. Okay? And so right now I'm going to first give you the strategy that we need to adapt to really connect to a woman emotionally before we even get to that physical element, because many of you know that I talk about this. And hello, everybody that's timing for YouTube. I see your comments. Hello, Instagram. I see your comments as well. Thank you so much. Much love. So let's get into it. So for you, here's the first part is going to be, we're going to go through the emotional strategy. And then the second part, we're going to go through the physical strategy of creating this woman to really desire you, to want more from you, and to meet you at the same level that you're at in your life. Okay. So the first strategy we're talking about is the emotional strategy. Without the emotional strategy, we can never get to a physical strategy or the physical element with women. Here's why. Women crave intimacy off of a man when they are emotionally aware of his existence and feel something from you. Yes, we can get turned on by the way you look, the way you dress, the way you smell, but it doesn't bring it home all the way. What brings it home is how you show up. And this is where I need to also talk about this element first, because this will also help you in long-term sustainability in relationships and also get you out of this this wiring of dating is so difficult. But actually dating is not meant to be easy, yes, but dating also brings out sides of us that we're not always willing to see. Okay, so number one is I want you to find value in your priorities, okay? Your mission and your purpose, right? So if you are on a first date with a woman or a second or third date, it is very attractive for a man to have a mission, to have a purpose. So if you don't know your purpose yet, find a mission, right? So what can a mission be for you? For me, it could have been like, if I didn't have this purpose, I would love to help entrepreneurs find their voice, right? I would help them I would love to be a coach maybe in helping people, motivate people to be powerful on stage. Or I love to spend my time cooking in one of these communities because they need cooks and it helps them out. Or I can be part of this community and I give back to the Boy Scouts, or I become a coach for my little nephew's baseball team. I don't know what it is. Or you step in every once in a while. What drives you? What gives you that adrenaline? What makes you feel good? That is a mission of giving back. Missions is about, how do I give back? Okay. Purpose is about, what am I doing to what I've learned so nobody else has to really figure out what I had been through. So for example, my purpose is this, because there was many times I wanted someone like myself to be able to step in on the times of agony, distress, anxiety, depression, questioning life, questioning if I was ever going to have a relationship or find love. And the tools that I teach all the time are not only tools that I've embodied in my own life, but also now I've interviewed, I've trained men, I've done so much all around the world. So it becomes more of my purpose, because there's meaning, there's soulful meaning behind it. And a mission can be a purpose too. And then you find value in your priorities. Women will never value your priorities if you do not value your priorities. Okay. So many times I see men dating women and they're like, yeah, well, I kind of made her a priority now. When she spends the night, like, I'll cancel my plans the next day. I'm like, absolutely not. This is where you need to show a woman, like, even though you're making room for her, you're making space for her to live in your environment, just as she should as well. You're also showing her that you're not giving up on your priorities. You're going to still wake up at 10 a.m. to go meet your trainer. You're going to still wake up at 12 and meet your boys for lunch because you promised them 2 days ago or a week ago. Just because she's at your house does not mean that you're going to cancel plans and make her a priority. Because what happens here is you're not establishing the right foundation for a relationship. And so you're giving this woman an expectation that she will always be the number one priority besides your personal life, your work life, and everything. And that's not a healthy balance, because a woman that is right for you will understand it and will appreciate this too. because she's going to want to have this part of her in her life too. Number two is understanding what your needs are. So being responsible for them and making your needs a priority, guys. Ooh, okay. A lot of times, like I just had a coaching session today, and one of the guys was like, how do I know it's a need? Okay, this is where personal work is so important. And how do I know it's a value? Is because if it's coming from control or if it's coming from insecurity, then this is not a value. But it's coming from a place of understanding, curiosity, compassion, expansion, and your value system, then you know that this is a need and you are responsible for your needs first. Okay. You have to be responsible for your needs first, and you have to make your needs a priority to understand what those are for someone else to do so too. Number three is stepping into your masculine energy. Okay. Many of us think that masculine energy is like, I'm going to tell, I'm going to do, and I'm just going to assert myself. And I just have to give her this like really strong energy. Actually, no. So, masculine energy has a lot to do with emotional regulation. Like, how do you handle stress, right? Really think about it, guys that are listening to this live right now. I want you to really think about it. How do you handle stress? Okay. How do you handle stress? Do you react? Do you blame? What is it? Because this is where emotional regulation is really charged in stressful situations. Are you able to take action and be clear with your intent? So maybe a woman is like, I would rather go to a bookstore. And you're like, well, listen, like, I don't really want to go to a bookstore because it's really quiet in there. But how about a coffee shop where they have books, right? So I'm just giving you a little example of something, but it being very clear and being actionable, being intentful with your word. So are you intentful is another question, because masculine energy does not come from being able to tell her what to do, because that's your insecurities, but instead it comes from a place of expansion of who you are, what you want, and you stand tall and confirm in it, but not from an arrogant way or a passive way, but more of, this is who I am. I know myself. This is what I need and this is what I want. And let's see if someone can meet me here. Number four is communicating directly and encouraging effective communication. So many times we get into dating, we date a woman and a woman is like, whoa, Apollonia, like she's really open with me. Like she communicated that she didn't like what I said. And I had to clarify a little bit of what I meant by that. And I'm like, that's great. So what you want to do when you find a woman that is also effective in communicating is you want to actually show her and like a congratulation, right? I want you to show her that, listen, you encourage this. Really, I find it really attractive that you communicate what you want, right? I find it really attractive that you have effective communication. Not a lot of women do that I've been dating these days, right? You want to give her a compliment outside of the looks. That is a big one. So you also want to encourage yourself to communicate directly. Of course, not from a place of your insecurities and the need to control. Number five is never stop discovering her instead of focusing on making this work all the time. So one of the major things we start to do when we start dating a woman, we're noticing that we can take it to the next level, and we actually like each other. What happens here is you start to get result-driven focus, and you're focused on making this work all the time and making it the best relationship, making sure the intimacy is great. And we're going to go into intimacy now. And all of this, right? And so now you start stepping into approval, and you're also leading from your ego most of the times when you get here. So the way that we step out of it is two ways I'm going to give you here. You have to think of it like this. Your job, men, when you're dating a woman, when you're in a relationship for the first couple months and years, is you want to continue to discover who this woman is, okay? Your goal is to discover who this woman is just as much as the goal of the woman is to discover who this man is about when she's dating and when she's in a relationship with you, vice versa. Okay. And so the goal here is when we get so focused on making sure she's going to be the perfect wife, or making sure she's going to be in my life forever, making sure she won't cheat on me, or making sure she's going to fall in love with me. What we end up doing is we get into this subconscious people-pleasing mentality where 1, 2, 3, and 4 get swiped out automatically that I just talked about. And then from there, what happens is you're not discovering new things about her. So you're just focusing on structuring and controlling it so much because you're not trusting the process. You understand? And so if we're not trusting the process, guess what? I have news for you. If things don't work out with Amanda, or things don't work out with Tanya, or if things don't work out with Brenda, guess what? They might work out with Amberly. They might work out with Jean, right? So here's the thing is like, when we don't trust, we think that this is our only option. And so the discovery will always go out the window. And so part of discovering if a woman is the one for you is by picking up on who she is, what she wants from life, what are her values, and even though she says these things, does she act through these things and what are her actions? Because your goal when you get here is to be in alignment. And now we'll go into the physical. Of course, many times these days, you don't have to be in a relationship to be physical with someone. But when we become physical in a relationship, so let's say you're on a first or second date with a woman and things get escalated and you end up maybe taking things to the bedroom and becoming intimate. The reason why a man can get here is because obviously the umbrella answer that we always say is what? Starts with a C, guys. Put it in the comments. What am I going to say? Starts with a C. Confidence. Exactly. But that's the umbrella answer, right? Is because we can also fake confidence, and confidence comes and goes, right? Self-esteem is what is the foundation of our confidence always, right? And so when we get to a point that we show a woman confidence on our date, we show her that we're on a mission, we have a purpose, we understand that we want our needs, we know our needs, we know who we are as a man, we're more in our masculine energy, we can communicate directly and effectively, we are assertive, we flirt with her, we tell her what we want, you know, we're flirting and we're bantering and we're qualifying her, we're having fun and we're being playful, and this date is just amazing, and then she ends up making out with you and she's like all into you and she's like going for it, right? And you're like, whoa, this worked, Apollonia. Apollonia is a genius. So what happens here is now we're getting into the physical element of things. So understanding how to bring things into the bedroom so she also knows what is right for her and right for you. Many times when you're able to do this emotional thing, then you're able to have physical element of seduction, but seduction plays a huge part in not only attraction, but also in desire, right? And desire. And when we can keep that desire flame going in our relationships and our marriage and our long term, it becomes our intimacy life becomes more adaptable. It becomes more desirable. It becomes more new. Because here's the thing is we always think that emotional and physical things, once you achieve it, it goes away. Absolutely not. So what I want you to do, guys, is when you get to the physical element, I'm going to give you the strategy of when you get physical, of how to make it memorable for a woman, and also to how to tap into her body. Now, number one is women do not want to be intimate with you on the first time or the second time or the whatever it is, just like they say, like just how they have intimacy in pornography. Okay. And I keep on saying intimacy because the other word I think gets flagged. So I can't say the S and the one ended with the X. But one of the things is pornography is not the way to understand how a woman wants to be intimate. There's so many bad things that actually happen for a man's mind. It's like heroin to the brain, to be honest, for a man. And you start kind of wiring your insecurities through it. And I actually have an interview that I'm doing soon about this. And what happens is you're not able to connect with a woman. So many times when I talk about intimacy and how to please a woman, many men are like, well, how is she going to please me? Well, obviously, if you're able to step into an abundance of intimacy with a woman and discover her body, because every woman is different, she will want to reciprocate in return. And here's where we go wrong is number one. And then number two, we're not using verbal cues to lead into seduction, right? Like actually verbal intimacy. I talking about how great she is, talking about how great she looks, talking about how beautiful her body is, talking about the things that she may like, questioning it. Like testing her, right? Testing her by kissing her on the back of the ear. A lot of women don't like when a man puts their tongue inside the ear, but more like on the shaft of oh my God, the shaft of the ear and then behind the ear. My job is so entertaining to me, to be honest. The tongue behind the ear too, right? So it's really about discovering her hot spots as well. Because if we don't discover a woman's hot spots, what's going to end up happening is it's going to be like a one and go. And this is honestly the number one complaint that I have with a lot of women when it comes to intimacy with a man. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of hot spots in a second, but I also linked it in the description box and in the chat because right now I have a sell on a new program where I go into detail about all of this. And it's called my How to Please a Woman. And it's a very, obviously, as you know, I don't do anything else like this, but it is a very, very great program to actually help you with understanding a woman's hotspots, intimacy, and really making sure that you are able to not only give her an experience, but also you're able to get one too. So there's a couple of hotspots that a lot of women like to talk about as well. Make sure you sign up for the How to Please, because this How to Please a program is on sale now and it's not going to be for a very long time. If you have been on my email list, you've been seeing me talk about it. If you haven't taken advantage of it yet, make sure. I wanted to really come on this live too today because a lot of people always complain. It was like, I didn't know that there was a special. I didn't even know that program exists, Apollonia. So sometimes not everybody checks their email. Sometimes it can land in spam or junk or whatever the case may be. So I wanted to go on the live and actually be able to make you aware of this as well. So let's go into the hotspots of a woman. So when we create a hotspot of a woman emotionally, we can now create more of a hotspot physically, right? So there's a couple of hotspots that are in women that can be in the middle of their back, on their knees, behind their knee, behind their ears as well, which is really, really good, on the neck line, on the collarbone. And so what women many times complain about to me, and when I do my interviews and kind of get an understanding about what women want in the bedroom from men, is they always say that a man can never pick up on her cues when they get to a point that they like something. So let's say that you get to a hot spot. When you get to a hot spot on a woman, typically she's going to either moan, say don't stop, or she's going to give you some type of reaction to her body of what she's really enjoying in this moment. And many times why men aren't able to stay here and pick up on these cues is because they're so stressed on making this memorable experience. How long can I last? How long all of this stuff, which is not even a thing that is in her mind in the moment, because she's just being present because she wants connection in that moment. So the more that you can be present in connection with her, the more that you're going to be able to just have an amazing intimacy moment with this woman. So also understand that in part of pleasing a woman, not only on the physical realm, but also happens in your communication in the bedroom. So when we get to this point with a woman, we want to understand that the both of you obviously want this. And also too, from here is, I think it's what I haven't seen or I haven't heard talk about, which I mentioned, and I go into depth into this program, is really how to establish foreplay the right way before you get into intercourse. Here's why. I just interviewed 30 women last month, and I asked them about, what they expected from their partners in the bedroom and everything. And so a couple women answered. Majority of the women, I'd say about 60% of them, and these women, I think only, actually they were all single. So these women said about 60% of them, when they were intimate with a man, seemed like a man always wanted to rush, right? And so it didn't seem like he was present. And they gave me little things that they would do that they didn't like, right? So they wouldn't give her foreplay as much as she would him, and it was like they kept track of it and timed it and only did it for a moment just to get into the intercourse. And they wanted the intercourse fast. Or after intimacy happened, a towel, that was a big one. Women don't like a towel to be thrown at them, right? Like that was a big one that they came up with. Also too, another one was like French kissing. So when some women don't actually want to French kiss a man unless there is a relationship involved, and also too, like, some women do. And so it was like 50-50 with the women I was interviewing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is pretty interesting that some of these women don't like French kissing, some of them do. So how would I encourage a man to figure out what she would want? Well, here's where I ask the women, like, what do you do if you don't want to kiss a man, French kiss a man while you're being intimate? And then all of them said, I put my hand on his chest and I pull back a little bit. So now you'll know, like, some women do really want the kissing, and you'll know when she does because of how she's reciprocating. So when we try to get into the moments of how to give an experience to a woman, the reason why I create programs like this is because it's been something that I wanted to do, but I'm like, how do I do this in a professional way? How do I do this in a classy way? But how do I do this to really create that effect that women really want and get that BS out there that's not true, and really create abundance in the bedroom and in intimacy? And it's through this How to Please program. So in the How to Please program, I actually go through everything in regards to the steps that you would take with a woman, and exactly how to find her hot spots, exactly what it means to uh, go down on a woman, to be intimate with a woman, and exactly what women think and how they like it and where. And I mean, I go into detail as much as possible. And the reason why I was able to do this is because I really just sat with these 30 women and went into detail about like what they didn't like, what they liked, and really took an understanding of like, okay, so now I need to communicate this to men, because many times women are shy and timid to actually be open about intimacy and what they want. And it's understandable because women have been shamed for years about intimacy. And now these days we're now open and talking about it. So I think it's my duty now as a woman to not only help women that are shy with talking about it, but also to help my men really create this sustainability in the intimacy and the physical part of your relationship. So if you want to, I'm going to take some Q&As in just a moment, but if you want to grab this is the last day. It is on sale for over 70% off, and grab it right now. It's in the link in the comments in the chat box, Instagram. I'm going to link it for you right now. Give me 1 second. And so what is the most important thing, do you think, guys, if intimacy? Tell me in the chat box. What do you think that what do you think that is the most important part of intimacy? Yes. Yeah, being present. Yeah, that's a great one, of course. But what else do you think is the most important part? Sorry, I was just linking this on Instagram as well. Experience, respect. I love the guys. You guys are awesome. Listening to her and taking care of her needs. Yeah, I love that. But also too, when you're able to listen to a woman and take care of her needs, she's also able, you're giving her the door to listen to you and take care of your needs as well. And so now you know if you're dealing with a selfish woman, if you're dealing with a woman that is really intentful with your dating and really wants to kind of give you back what you've given her as well. And I don't think that it's about a one-way street in this. It's about really taking control and adapting to what makes you feel comfortable and learning, right? Like the physical element, just like the emotional element of attraction, is a discovery process. And if we ever think that the discovery process ends, then guess what happens? Then the seduction ends, then the attraction ends. And so I think it's really important for you guys not only to be able to know exactly what to do, because obviously I interviewed over 30 women and put together this program, including myself, and put my own stuff in there of what I've experienced. And I mean, it's one of my best things I've ever created. It's a manual. I think it's over 50 pages, and I really go into everything into detail of basically everything that you need to know when it comes to pleasing a woman physically. And so I would encourage you to take advantage of that. I'm going to open it up for some Q&As right now while people sign up for it. There's only going to be 24 hours, guys. This is going to be on sale for. So it's only 24 hours that you can get this program for. It's How to Please a Woman. And I go into detail about how to be intimate with a woman, how to have a better connection in the bedroom with a woman, and how to get the woman to want you more and also desire you. and then not think like give her the best experience that she's ever had with you. And then when you do, you guys sure you guys will share a bond together because also too she's going to want to reciprocate, right? All right, so let's open it up to some questions. Awesome, Charles. That's awesome. I don't let me see. So Sean, you say if she doesn't respect you, how responds as a man? I think you meant like how do I respond as a man? Well, first of all, let's tune into like what ways doesn't she respect you? So if it's blatantly obvious ways that she doesn't respect you, then why are we with her or giving her the opportunity? Maybe the next question that I would ask you, because I'm one of those people that if you respect a woman and she's not doing the same vice versa, and she continues to do this after you talked about it, then why are we still with the person? We're just trying to make water and oil fit. And obviously, this is a lack of connection for the both of you as well. I want you to comment too if you actually signed up for the program. I want you to say signed up in the chat box and I can give you a shout out as well. So let me take another question here. If you guys have questions on Instagram, go ahead and make the question mark, take the question mark there and do that. Oh, I like this question. I actually talked about this on a video. DC asked, once a cheater, always a cheater. Do you agree? Well, I don't necessarily agree with this. No. And it also depends on the situation. If you have someone that is actively cheating, they're a mature adult and they continue to do this in this relationships, then probably. But if you are someone that has learned from your lessons, maybe you were young, you cheated, then no. But if you're also someone that cheated once and was like, this is horrible, and people cheat not because of their partner. They cheat because of their own insecurities, of some lack of something within themselves. And sometimes it's hard to understand because we think of cheating as directly pinpointed at us as a partner, but it has everything to do with them more than it has to do with you most of the times. And so many times when we cheat, it's because of a huge insecurity. And also too, if we're able to unravel that insecurity and work through it and adjust it and heal it, then no, I don't think it would show up again. Awesome, George signed up for the How to Please a Woman. Let's go, George. I would love, love, love for you to be able to tell me how it goes. And yeah, you're going to love the How to Please a Woman program. It is a game changer for sure. We've gotten so many great, great testimonials from men that just email me back about after they read it. They're like, wow, Apollonia, you literally brought it home. You went into full description of everything. Oh, Chris. Hi, Chris. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I forgot that YouTube, you can do this. Hey, Apollonia, just wanted to show my appreciation for helping us men and women. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Thank you for being a subscriber. I appreciate you as well. Let me go to Instagram for a question here. What was the hot spots? So someone asked, what are the hot spots? So every woman is different. So I go over 20 hot spots in the How to Please a Woman program. I think it's like 15 or 20. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I show you exactly where they are on the body. But a couple that I named today was behind the ear, like right here behind the ear and like right on the top of the ear. So a lot of women don't like the tongue inside the ear as much. The neck, the collarbone, the knee, behind the knee, the middle of the back, but more on the upper side. And also too, sometimes on her arms, if you're going like this with like you're tickling the arm, that's also a good one as well when you guys are cuddling or whatever it is that you're doing in the moment. So those are hot spots that I would strongly, strongly suggest. If you want more of them, make sure you sign up for the How to Please a Woman. Hi, Mike. You've never joined this chat. Thanks for being so real. You're welcome. Ooh, I love this question. So Lucas asks, do you think pornography for both men and women is indirect cheating once you're fantasizing with someone else? Okay, so I think this comes down to a moral question and also to a question about like how you look at it, right? So like This is a question where I set aside and I say, morally, for me, I can only answer this question one way, but it also can be for other people because there's open relationships out there. Also, too, like I'm not a jealous woman at all. So I mean, I don't think I would really get jealous if I knew like someone was fantasizing, right? Like I think it's like it's a fantasy. That's why I call it fantasize. But also, too, like that doesn't work for everybody, right? So I can't say if it's cheating. That would be for the both the man and the woman to discuss. But I also think like sometimes couples do watch it together to get insight, um, um, to get new understanding of different things that they can try out and so on. I just don't think pornography is healthy in general, to be honest with you. So, and the only time that you can have a healthy relationship with it is like if you visit it once, maybe every 6 months or once a year with your partner, just to kind of see what's out there and try new things and for excitement, right? Because if we use it to start getting turned on, and I actually talk about this in the How to Please program, and we have a porn coach actually coming in, Coach Frank. He's actually coming into our membership. So if you're not a VIP member, click the link in my bio right below, or if you're watching on Instagram, in my bio in my Instagram, and become a member. It's a small fee every month for you to get weekly coaching calls with me. And we have guests come in all the time. And we have a porn coach coming in. He's going to really dissect what happens to men when they watch porn and everything. So I know that can help as well for a lot of the guys that are asking the question. So if you're not a member yet, please sign up to be a member. James, shout out to you for signing up for the How to Please a Woman program as well. All right, I'm going to take two more questions, guys. And so remember, the sale on the How to Please a Woman is going to be over. It is literally as much as 2 Starbucks coffees. It's not going to break your wallet for if you buy Starbucks, that is. And so I want you to be able to get this. It's 70% off, and it's only going to be like this for the next 24 hours. I'm going to take 2 more questions. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to take that one on Instagram soon. Okay. Yes, this is really, really good. I just want to put George's comment on there because this is a very true comment. Thank you, George. Um, Hi, Jesse. I'm so sorry to hear this. I know that this could be really hard, but this is why I started this. I don't know if you saw this live, and if not in the beginning, rewatch it because number one is vital. Here's where you're going to get out of I would say do a coaching session with me or Coach Cynthia, but I think that one of the biggest things you have to do here is understand that how you have a lesson in this. And we probably dismissed some red flags with her. We probably gave her our everything, and that's what got us here, right? So and she lacked respect. Maybe you lacked respect for yourself in the time in the relationship. You put her as a priority and you dismissed your own needs. I would have to have a conversation in order to see how I can help you. How many pages is the guide? Hi, nice to meet you, Bitcoin. So the guide is over 50 pages. So when you download it, you'll see it has a table of contents of everything in it. And also too, there is like a little bit of tutorials and everything in there as well. So let me just make sure I'm going to pull it up really quickly here. Yeah. So how to please a woman. Yep. It's around 40 pages. And what you're going to see in here, I'll go over a little bit of the table of contents too for you guys. So in here is how to find a woman's hot spots, how to kiss a woman, how to play with her hair, how to go down on a woman, how to finger a woman, the top positions that women love and what to do when you get there, insight into a woman's mind, seduction techniques, and how to move with seduction, the aftercare of basically a woman, and the intimacy afterwards. So, I know as a dating coach for men, it goes beyond just attraction. When you're able to attract a woman, it's like, okay, now what do I do in the bedroom? And I want to class it up. I want to be real because at the end of the day, all of us have intimacy with our partners at one point or another. And so what's really important is to understand this is a part of life. It's a way of life. And if I can bring you a very good way of bringing this opportunity with you and your partner, or you and the girl that you're deciding to get intimate with, then you're going to be able to take things to the next level with her by far. 1000%. So shout out to Stephen, shout out to Christopher. So shout out to James for taking the initiative to get this program as well. I'm glad that you guys signed up. It is literally on sale, guys, for only less than 24 hours until tonight. So definitely get it. It's 70% off right now. Hi, Charles. Let's see. Charles says, I've already signed up for your How to Please a Woman program. I really like your perspective on things. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you. I like to hear from people that are invested in the program and seen it. I'd rather have a good, this is awesome, Sean. I'd rather have a great experience with a woman than with a Starbucks coffee. Facts. That was so good because earlier I said this program's the price of like 2 Starbucks coffees, and Sean replies, "I'd rather have a great experience with a woman than with a Starbucks coffee." I I could totally understand that. That was so good. Oh, you made me laugh. Thank you, Sean. Just signed up as well. Awesome, Chris. Hopefully one day I get to meet you. Thank you so much. All right. So we don't have a lot of questions coming on YouTube. Let me see Instagram that are related to the topic, guys. Sorry. Oh, this is a good one. Okay. So I'm going to pin this on Instagram and I'm going to read it to you guys on YouTube. So someone else on Instagram, what's the best, hold on, let me open it up so I can see it. Oh. What's the best way to get over conflict when your partner doesn't own up to their mistakes? Bad communication, her holding you accountable for what every other man does, assumptions. Okay. Your responsibility, Mr. Kev on Instagram, is not to become the man that is responsible for what all the other men did to her. Okay? Sorry. All you can do is you need to have very clear boundaries and you have to know what you're willing to tolerate and not tolerate. Because what will happen in this relationship is if you continue doing this, you will lose yourself. She will lose respect for you and you will lose respect for yourself. You have to have clear boundaries. And if she's not able to hold herself accountable and actively communicate with you, this is where you have to give her space. She has to see that her behaviors will not allow you to be in her life. So this is where I was talking about in the live, right? When I talked about number 2, understanding what your needs are and you being responsible for them and then make your needs a priority. That is that when I'm talking about, Kev. Okay. So I'm sorry that this has happened. You know, I've been that girl that hold a guy accountable that I was dating for all the mess ups that I had before him. And guess what? It didn't work out for us. And so what I want you to understand is like, your job is not your job is not to fix a woman, right? A lot of times we get this like superiority feeling that if I fix a woman, she's going to love me. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. She will lose respect for you, just like vice versa if a woman was trying to fix you. So you have a priority, men, and the priorities, if you're looking for something long-term sustainable, is you need to make sure that you qualify a woman and identify what your dream woman is and have standards for the woman that you date. Plain and simple. Okay. All right, guys. Well, much love to all of you that signed up for the How to Please a Woman program. Congratulations. And I'm happy to see that you did. Thank you all, guys. For Mark, you can sign up. The link is in the description box and also in the chat box as well. I'll put it here in the chat box for you guys in YouTube and Instagram as well right now, if you are still looking for that. But other than that, guys, I just want to say that thank you for allowing me for this past 35 minutes into whatever space you are, coffee shop, home, work, whatever it is. I love to do lives. I love to see and interact with you guys. Hello, Jermaine. I always see your comments on YouTube. Thank you so much for your comments, by the way. See stuff like this. I just love to be able to be present and live and thank someone for that. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Matili. Awesome. And, I can't pronounce that name, but Thank you. Thank you guys on Instagram. Thank you guys on Facebook as well. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Apollonia_Ponti. Go ahead and do that. I also post a lot of advice reels if you like those as well. And much love to you guys. Sign up for the How to Please a Woman program because it is on sale for 70% off now. It's the price of 2 Starbucks coffees. And just like Sean said, he'd rather have a great experience with a woman than a Starbucks coffee. So make sure you sign up for the How to Please a Woman program. The links are in the comments and in the bio, guys, on Instagram. And also too here on YouTube. The links are here in the chat box, in the comments, and also in Facebook. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for giving me purpose. Thank you also for trusting me. And I just always want the best for you guys and the best results in regards to love, relationship, and life. So again, thank you for giving me purpose. Much love. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now, guys.